Think about what you ate today. A granola bar mid-morning, chips from the vending machine, a frozen meal for lunch. Each of those choices felt entirely like yours. A preference, a habit, or maybe a small comfort on a hard day. But those choices are actually the outcome of decades of deliberate, sophisticated engineering. The American food industry formulates products specifically designed to override your body's natural signals of fullness, creating a cycle where you buy more and keep coming back, regardless of what it costs your body. This chart breaks down a standard daily caloric intake in the United States today. That expanding color block represents ultra-processed food, which now accounts for nearly 60% of the average American adult's diet. Among children, that number pushes close to 70%. 7 out of every 10 calories an American child eats comes from a product manufactured in a factory. As that volume grows, so does the physical toll. A 2024 umbrella review of almost 10 million people linked diets high in these factory-engineered products to 32 distinct health conditions. That includes obesity, type 2 diabetes, anxiety, and a 50% increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease. The evidence is so overwhelming that the World Health Organization has classified ultra-processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen for their link to colorectal cancer. They share that exact same categorization with tobacco and asbestos. The rise of chronic illness in America is often framed as a failure of personal willpower, but the data from nearly 10 million study participants suggests a different conclusion. The health of a population is a direct reflection of the quality of the fuel it is given to consume. Ultra-processed foods are industrially manufactured products that exist in a different category than cooked staples like bread or cheese. Companies take base whole foods like corn, wheat, and beans, strip them down into a colorless, flavorless powder, and reconstruct them using emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and thickeners, chemicals you would never find in a home kitchen. The incentive to do this is purely financial. By replacing actual food with synthetic formulations, manufacturers can double or triple their profits. The resulting product bears zero resemblance to its source ingredients, costs almost nothing to manufacture, and sells for many times its production cost. Because these reconstructions lack natural appeal, food scientists engineer them to hit what the industry calls the bliss point. They manipulate ratios of sugar, salt, and fat, masking them with artificial textures until the product completely bypasses the stomach's satiety signals. The food targets the brain directly, making it clinically irresistible. These side-by-side neuroimaging scans compare human brain reward circuitry. On one side, the brain of a heavy drug user. On the other, the brain of someone consuming ultra-processed food. The dopamine flare-ups are functionally identical. A landmark study in Nature Medicine confirmed that these foods hijack the brain's reward system, triggering the exact same loss of control and persistent cravings seen in alcohol and cocaine addiction. With 15% of American children currently meeting the clinical criteria for addiction, the primary output of the food industry has shifted from nutrition to the distribution of addictive compounds. The architecture of this crisis was entirely imported from another industry. Between the 1960s and the 1980s, the world's largest tobacco companies aggressively bought up massive food and beverage portfolios, absorbing giants like Kraft and General Mills. Tobacco executives brought their survival playbook directly into the food sector. They designed products to maximize chemical dependency, funded biased research to manufacture scientific doubt, and deployed massive marketing campaigns that blamed poor health entirely on the consumer's lack of personal responsibility. That playbook is still running at full speed. In 2024, food processing corporations spent nearly $27 million lobbying the federal government. They systematically pack regulatory bodies. 95% of the committee members who shaped the recent U.S. dietary guidelines had financial ties to the food or pharmaceutical industries. Look at how the rest of the developed world handles this exact same science. Mexico implemented heavy taxes on sugary beverages, cutting consumption immediately. Chile enacted comprehensive laws banning the marketing of high-sugar products to children. Walk into a supermarket in France, and you will see this traffic light nutrition label, red for harmful, green for healthy, placed on the front of packaged products by law. The exact same global corporations that comply with these strict health labels in Europe spend millions of dollars to block equivalent transparency in the United States. The American diet is incredibly toxic, but not because the science is unresolved. It is toxic because an immensely profitable lobbying apparatus has spent half a century successfully delaying regulatory reality. The sudden popularity of GLP-1 drugs acts as a forensic tool, exposing the true nature of the American food market. These medications, including Ozempic and Wegovy, provide definitive physical evidence of how the food industry actually views its own products. GLP-1 drugs suppress general appetite, but patients report a highly specific secondary effect. They lose the compulsive desire for chips, fast food, and sugary drinks. The medication chemically turns off the neurological cravings for ultra-processed foods. As a direct result, Big Food is panicking. With an estimated 15 million Americans already using these drugs, major manufacturers are consistently reporting sharp, sudden declines in the sales of snacks, sweet bakery items, and frozen meals. It is the ultimate irony. A drug that cures an addiction mechanism is causing the food industry to hemorrhage money. Buried in their earnings reports is the accidental, undeniable confession that their entire empire requires engineered dependency to survive. In 2025, the industry's ability to contain this information finally cracked. The Lancet Medical Journal published a blistering series exposing the food sector's political infiltration. Shortly after, the FDA and USDA jointly declared that ultra-processed foods were driving America's chronic disease epidemic, backed by a bipartisan political coalition demanding change. States and cities stopped waiting for federal permission. California banned ultra-processed foods from school lunches. West Virginia banned synthetic dyes. San Francisco and Philadelphia filed massive lawsuits, accusing major food corporations of deliberately marketing addictive, disease-causing products. The American food crisis was built using the exact same methods as the tobacco crisis. Now the public is angry, the science is settled, and the litigation has begun. The exact legal architecture that eventually dismantled Big Tobacco is finally being aimed directly at Big Food.